Good morning and welcome to Sunday Sunrise. I'm your host, Vicky Carmona. I'm here with Jeannie, who's the founder and president of Milagro Senior Pet Refuge. Good morning, Jeannie.
Hi, Vicky. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming in. Now, you are the founder and president of this organization, so go ahead and tell us why you started it and what you guys do.
Milagro Senior Pet Refuge is a 501c3 nonprofit. We rescue abandoned senior pets in poor health. We take the ones that no one else wants, and we rehabilitate them as best we can and try to make up for whatever the past was for them. And we also strive to cast a spotlight on the need nationwide to better care for senior pets who still have plenty of life and love to give and whose lives really still matter. When their aging bodies begin to fail them and they need us the most, they trust us the most, is when we should absolutely never turn our backs on our senior pets. We need to step up and protect and love them even more. And Milagro exists for those senior pets who don't have a home and family support for whatever reason. Milagro is still small, but we've become a recognized resource in the communities about Arizona to help protect and save these senior pets at risk. And we're also working to develop a support mechanism that will encourage and help owners of senior pets to keep their pets healthy and in the home with them for the pet's twilight years rather than abandoning them. How it got started was, like most good folks in pet rescue, I've been rescuing all my life.
Wow.
Yeah. One afternoon about 7 years ago, I was down at the Maricopa County Animal Shelter looking for my next rescue pet. And I decided to linger a while and watch how people actually made their choices.
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed was that the senior pets almost always got passed over and were never chosen. And people walk right by their kennels as if they don't even see them. It was heartbreaking. And you know, when a pet doesn't get rescued from the shelter, that's the end of the road for him. He's euthanized. And it crushed me when I realized there that day that these poor old animals who had most likely been part of a family once and devoted their whole lives to someone were going to die. They were going to die alone now in that shelter. And that's when I knew I needed to find a way to change their odds and make the public aware of the beautiful value of senior pets. And so Milagro was born.
Okay. Now, you talk about senior pets because that's obviously what you guys are doing is rescuing these.
Right.
Is this really an issue? Are there a lot of senior pets being abandoned or that are in need of homes? Oh, yes, definitely, especially in today's faltering economy. More and more people are abandoning their pets now for a number of reasons. They may not be able to afford veterinary care for an aging pet or a special diet and medications, etc. You know, sometimes folks just haven't anticipated or prepared ahead for those increased costs. Many families are being evicted, foreclosed on, or forced to move in with friends and relatives into smaller accommodations like an apartment, you know, where pets aren't welcomed, or when an elderly person dies or has to move into assisted living. Those families of that person typically don't want to keep his pet. And then, of course, too often, you know, there are a lot of people who will abandon senior pets just because they want a cute, fuzzy little puppy or kitten instead. Oh, wow. That's pretty sad.
It's a problem in the community, and a lot of people aren't aware of it yet. Animals of all ages are being abandoned right now, like I say, because of the economy and people having to make drastic changes in their lives. But certainly a senior pet is going to need an elevated level of veterinary care at some point as his body ages. And but, you know, sometimes simple adjustments are all that's required to ensure a senior's comfort. For instance, heart murmurs are common in aging pets, but generally they can be very easily managed with a daily heart pill. Cataracts are typical, but if surgery isn't an option for the owner financially, a pet with limited vision can still get around the home just as well as when it could see, and provided you don't rearrange the furniture every day. So you see, simple adjustments can often keep the senior going strong and in the home that he knows with you, where he feels safe, rather than abandoning him in a shelter with very possibly no future to look forward to. On the upside of owning a senior pet, the puppy and kitten stage is past. You won't be dealing with a high-energy adolescent digging up your backyard, chewing on your shoes and furniture, shredding your draperies, pottying all over the house, or crying through the night. Seniors are much more relaxed. They're well-mannered. They've typically had some training, and they're easygoing and just don't demand as much attention as the younger animals. They're pretty much happy with just a nice soft pillow, a daily walk, a treat here and there, scratch on the head. And in fact, what I've noticed at the shelters tells me there's an unfortunate cycle that occurs when people make the wrong choices about what pet to adopt. If you go to the kennel and walk the rows and rows of kennels at the pound, you'll see that the majority of the pets sitting there waiting for adoption are only 1 to 2 years old. They're young adolescents. They've just outgrown the cute little fuzzy puppy and kitten stage. And all of a sudden, the owners realize they're too much to handle. They're too ill-behaved, or the owner doesn't have time to put them in training, or maybe they're just not tiny and cute anymore. So they get surrendered to the pound. They may or may not get adopted, and then they face the real likelihood of being euthanized. And this is tragic for younger animals, any animals of any age, to be discarded and in such danger before their lives have even really begun. Had the people planned ahead for what type of pet personality would really have best suited their family and home, they may have chosen a lovely senior instead, who could have blended in more comfortably and been a real success story. And by adopting a senior from the pound, you will have freed up some desperately needed space at the shelter for another younger dog who might otherwise be euthanized just to manage the overcrowding problem. So I encourage folks, before you go to rescue a pound puppy or kitten, honestly assess your home and family situation before you go to the shelter to pick that new pet. As adorable and irresistible as little kittens and puppies can be, you need to be sure you're correctly matching the new pet to you to avoid failure down the road and another unfortunate pet abandoned at the shelter when it's no longer tiny and cute.
Right. That's definitely some good points there.
Yeah.
Now, what about children and senior pets? I always thought that the puppies were more suited for the children because they have more energy like the kids, or am I totally off base?
Well, no, not at all. Seniors are typically pretty good with little children. Chances are they've grown up in the family with these children, and if a toddler comes along, the child just needs to be taught to respect the pet's place in the home and the pet's aging body. Senior pets appreciate a peaceful, serene environment, and they deserve that. It's not asking a lot. Just like senior people, senior pets don't tolerate noise and chaos well, and they certainly should be protected from poking and harassment by a little child. Mm-hmm. Children should be taught to be respectful of the senior pet and restrain themselves from teasing the pet or surprising the pet, being rough with the pet. Senior pets may nip if provoked, and even if they mean no harm, it puts them at risk for being abandoned then. So parents need to be diligent with children to teach them and to ensure that boundaries are honored for everyone's protection. There's nothing more heartbreaking to see than a poor old confused senior pet sitting in the county pound on death row because it nipped at a child just out of a warning, when chances are the child was most likely bothering it and the parents looked away. So the senior would end up paying with his life through no fault of his own.
Oh, wow, that is sad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that you say it's very important to provide these pets with very comfortable homes. Why is that?
First and foremost, because every life matters regardless of its age.
Mm-hmm.
Milagro believes that belonging to a family in a peaceful, loving home environment is very life-affirming, in contrast to overcrowded, noisy, frightening shelters with no one to comfort and protect him. It has been proven to us at Milagro through results time and time again that there is tremendous healing power in the simple act of loving kindness. And loving kindness alone has brought many of our seniors back from the brink of death. They've lived very happy lives and been able to enjoy their twilight years. If you visit the Power of Life page on our website, www.milagropets.org, you can read the story of little Jonah. And little Jonah was probably Milagro's most triumphant rescue story.